everybody. This is Christine with Vital Vessels. Thank you for joining us today. I have another amazing interview with an amazing organ donor. This is Sheila. She donated her kidney to her friend. So we're going to enter into an interview today. We're going to find out what it was like, all the things that went down, and how easy the process was, and give you an education on organ transplant. Don't forget to like and subscribe the channel so that you can see whenever I bring in an amazing guest to interview for organ transplantation. So let's get started. So welcome to Vital Vessels. I'm glad you showed up. Thank you.
Thank you.
So tell me, we actually went to a picnic today. It was the anniversary of organ donation in Utah. And what an honor to be there among these people that were so willing to go through a process to help another human being. And Sheila is one of those people. And we share that kinship. And I want to kind of jump right into the story. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you met your recipient, whatever you're comfortable with telling us. Tell us about your recipient.
Okay. Well, I actually don't remember when we first met, but we've known each other for 30 plus years.
How did you find out that he was in need of an organ?
He actually told me. Funny thing, I'm a nurse, and so people like to tell me all their stuff. So he was telling me, what he was going through, and we actually knew some of the same doctors and stuff because I worked with them.
You worked with the transplant people, and what went through your mind? I mean, did you instantly know, or how did it happen that you knew that you needed to try to match?
No, not instantly. It actually kind of hit me. So we were at a barbecue, and he again was telling me what he was going through and stuff, and told me that he was actually going to get listed. Just listening, it was actually when he walked away from me.
Oh, really? What happened in that moment?
So I had a voice tell me that I was B positive and that I needed to donate to Ernie.
I hear that a lot as I'm getting to know organ donors. Most of them tell me that they felt something that told them they were going to do it. So you just knew.
Yeah.
And when you made the decision that you wanted to investigate, what did you do first?
Actually, that day.
That same day?
Yeah.
Wow.
I asked his wife because he told me I don't know how to do it. He's like, ask my wife. And so, she told me where to go on the internet. And when I left the barbecue, I did the whole sign up thing, which is quite a lengthy process.
Yeah, they ask everything, don't they?
They ask everything. And so I can see that alone, how people can get ruled out just by that questionnaire.
By the questionnaire at the beginning, yes.
Yeah. And so I knew when I was done that I passed. I was like, oh, cool.
All right.
So then the waiting began, to hear back.
So do you remember that barbecue? Do you remember how long it took before you got called, or when you had to start the actual medical testing? When did you know?
Okay, so I'm an impatient person. And so because I work at the same hospital, I made phone calls and wondering why they weren't calling me. So it was a couple weeks, and we started the process. Our donation process probably took longer than most people.
Really?
Because my recipient, he became ill. During that process.
So they had to pause him.
They had to put him on
hold.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But they kept going with you.
They did not.
Oh, they paused you.
They paused too.
Okay.
They did give me the option to continue if I wanted to donate to others, but in my heart, that's what I wanted to do.
Right. So in organ donation with kidneys, there's a process, and I believe it's called peer-to-peer, where you can donate your kidney to someone else you match, and it pushes the person that you know, your family member, up to the top of the transplant list. But you wanted your kidney to go specifically to Ernie.
Yeah. Well, and it was at that time where I wanted to wait. When we started back up again, then they were, then they did the more extensive testing,
right?
And they said they offered that peer-to-peer, which I was very disappointed.
Were you?
Yeah, I wanted to give my kidney to my friend, right?
Right.
And but I talked to him, and he's like, well, yeah, we could do that. It's like, okay, well, keep going then. So the whole time, it was the intention that I would be giving it to somebody else.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
most of the process, your intent was someone else would match, I'll give to them, and that will push Ernie up on the list. So there's something unique about Sheila and I obviously I'm an organ donor as well. The day I was called that I was approved, I immediately picked up the phone and called Sheila. And what's ironic is that she got the call the same day I did. So we were both approved. It's the kinship that we share. We were called on the same day to say, you match your recipient, we're good to go. And so that's what kind of drew us closer. And we do know each other. And it's just that miracle that happens in the process of organ donation. There are miracles all over it. So when you found out you matched, tell me about that call, because we got the call the same day.
As I recall, same day, same time.
Same day, same time. I know, crazy.
So, because we even said that. So, I was actually at work, but I knew when the meeting was going to be, so I was anxiously waiting with my phone in hand. Because
she's in the medical field. Yes. She already knew. She has the knowledge.
So when I got the phone call, I ran in, to an office so I could get that, anxiously waiting because I still wasn't sure, was this really going to happen? So when my coordinator told me, I started crying. He's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm just so happy."
That's amazing.
Because not only did he say that we're going to proceed with you, but that your kidney will go to my friend.
So not only did you find out you were a match, you were a match for Ernie.
I know, and I made him say it several times, like, what? But you said,
So, and as we've been talking, I haven't heard any of the doubts or fears that you've had. Did you have any fears that you walked through during this process? I mean, this is a surgery, and there are some risks involved.
Yeah.
What kind of fears did you have?
Oh, no, I had a lot of fears. Probably, I would say legit fears because it's a big surgery.
Yeah.
Where I need to get my will in order.
Oh, I do remember. Yes. You have to have your advance directive, yes. And all of your affairs have to be in order.
For those what ifs. Even to when they accepted me, I thought, well, maybe they won't, that kind of...
Maybe they'll change their minds.
And then I started feeling guilty, kind of going back and forth in my head, like, well, I don't think that. And then when it got closer to actually when we set the date, because I was still kind of, because the donor people are very... I feel like they coddle you, and they even keep reminding you that you can change your mind, where I'm like, wait a minute, why?
I thought about that a lot, and I've talked to other organ donors about this. It is the way they alleviate the pressure. And I remember feeling like I was almost being talked out of donating.
I agree.
I felt like I kind of had to say, no, I'm doing it.
I know. Yeah, like, what? This is a fight. Wait a minute.
But I get it.
Yeah.
I understand why.
Yeah, because, I got to the point where I was just like, wait a minute. I wouldn't have heard that voice if this wasn't supposed to happen, and it wasn't supposed to happen in a positive way. And I don't know if it was them building me up or what, but that's exactly how I went into it, because they kept saying, no, you can back out. And I'm like, no.
No, I know it kind of gives you that little I'm a warrior thing
Yes.
going on. Yes, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing as well, because you're determined.
Mm-hmm.
And it did build up my determination as well, and just made me fight a little harder. I went in a little bit more positive.
Yeah.
So you tell me about when you called Ernie, because he didn't know, right? He doesn't get told.
Yeah, I actually called him before the donor people did.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah,
because
you're in, because she's a nurse and she's in the know.
So I was already on the phone, so I had him put him and his wife on the phone together.
Really?
Yeah. So then we're all crying on the phone, and he's even saying the same things I originally said, like, "Wait, this isn't how it was supposed to happen."
You're questioning them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so even when they finally did call him, he said, "Wait, you guys didn't say it was going to happen this way," um, and I felt like that was again another sign, because with my beliefs, I don't think God would have said, "Okay, you're going to do this, and it's going to be all messed up." It was more like, "You're going to do this. This is going to work out just perfectly," and that is why I was able to give it to him.
I'll tell you what I've learned as well with that same line, that they vet us organ donors more than most people when they have a normal surgery. I mean, if you go to the doctor and find out you need to have your gallbladder removed, they don't do all the testing. They say get the gallbladder out. With organ donation, it's different, and they double check and they triple check everything to make sure that it's going to be a perfect match, and so it reduces any chances and risks of error. So did you have anybody in any of your family members that were terrified and didn't want you to do this?
So I kept the whole thing pretty quiet for a very long time.
Yes, she did, I know. Yeah.
I did not tell my family. I did not tell my children until it was all like set.
Oh, okay.
And then I started the process, and I really was sure some people would be like, "Are you crazy?" And I actually never once got that.
Really?
And I really thought my family would. And they were all like, "That's cool," and then started telling me like they know so and so and they know so and so transplant.
So they already knew it was safe. You know, I know that this woman sitting here was my inspiration, because I felt like if Sheila was going to do it, I'd be okay too, because she was a strong woman and I can follow right along and ride her shoulders of strength. And so thank you for that, because her journey inspired my journey, and we were both able to donate an organ and help save someone's life. And that's the magic that we are talking about. And this is literally saving people's lives. You know, I've mentioned it in my podcast on my channel before, that 17,000 people die every day or every year waiting for an organ. And that's not a huge number. We could remedy that with living organ donation. So again, I'm going to plug it, be an organ donor, and don't be fearful of the process. So your date was set for your surgery, and did you have to arrive at the hospital at an ungodly hour of 5 a.m.?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So tell me about that. It was July. I know it was July 29th.
Yes.
And I remember that date. It's it's an inspirational date for me. So on July 29th, 2022, you go to Intermountain Medical and you walk in the doors. And were you with Ernie that day?
We met in the parking lot.
You met in the parking lot?
Yeah.
Tell me about that a little bit.
We planned the whole thing to make sure we were together. So because they try to protect you in case you don't know the person, they didn't realize how well we know each other.
Oh, the hospital didn't
Yes,
know how
no.
close you were.
So we went in, and I kept telling, I want his room to be by mine. And I'm like, and then they weren't doing that. So I think finally they caught on, but
That's
yeah.
funny because
Yeah.
you must have prepped the staff,
Mhm.
because me and Carrie got put right next to each other in the room.
Oh,
So
that's so
yeah,
funny.
you blazed the path for me. So thank you for
Yeah,
that.
sure.
So when you have the surgery, you went in first.
Hmm.
They get you taken care of, and then they get Ernie ready to
Mhm.
receive the kidney. What was waking up off of that surgery? What was that like? What went through your mind?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm kind of a lightweight, so
Are you?
I don't know if I had anything in my mind.
Nothing. You just woke up.
Yep.
So how long were you in the hospital for?
I was in the hospital for 3 days. And then I actually went home for like 2 hours and went back.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yes.
You had some.
Yeah.
What was going on?
My heart went into atrial fibrillation. And I'm a cardiac nurse.
So she knew exactly what that was,
Yes.
and what to do about it.
Yes.
So, yes.
And so went right back in, and I actually just walked up there and told them what was going on.
Right.
Yeah. And well, they hooked me up. They're like, "Oh, let's rush you back."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took good care of you.
And I actually, even before I went to the EDL, I actually called the donor people because I know they had my back. So they met me there.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what's so awesome is you've got this team of doctors that have your back.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if you just say boo, they go, how high?
Yep.
I mean, jump.
Mm-hmm.
Jump. How high?
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a comfort because they rush to take care of everything with a donor. So that's one of those things that when you're processing, if there's someone watching this and processing, do I want to do this? Understand that you're going to have a dedicated team of highly educated and very attentive doctors that they're on a whim. They are there for you. Anything you need. And they supported me all along the journey. So you went back in, and were you there long that time?
2 more days.
Couple more days in the hospital. And so tell me about the recovery process. After getting out of the hospital and going home, what kind of restrictions do they send you home with first?
No BLTs.
Bending, lifting, twisting. I need to be educated on this lingo stuff. And so when you went home, how long was your recovery process?
I mean, I went back to work after 2 months, but I still was pretty tired for a while.
Yeah. 2 months isn't very long for what they had to do to your body to get that kidney out.
Yeah, I was a little surprised about that.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to recovering from surgeries and jumping right back into things.
So what, another 30 days or so? So I think it's about equivalent with delivery. You've got about a 90-day window that you got to take it easy and let your body get better. Did you have any complications other than the AFib when you went back? Did you have any other?
Nope.
Everything went well. See, there you have it. It's safe, and it really is such a small amount of time to save someone's life, because that's where I was at with the decision. 3 months of my life, and my recipient lives. No brainer. I'm going to give up 90 days of my life to help save another life. And the skill and the talent of the doctors, really, the doctors and surgeons take all the credit. I was just a vessel,
Yes.
Get it? I did that. So, but that's it. I was just a vehicle to help, and so honored and blessed to be able to be healthy enough, because we're in the same age group, and to be able to go in there at our age and go, I'm healthy enough.
I can do this.
Yeah. And, it's such a miracle. Your life now that you've donated an organ, tell me, is there anything that's changed about the way you look at life? That, what's your life like now, a year and about 3 months later?
Yeah. I don't know. Probably about the same, maybe better.
Mm-hmm.
I do sometimes get to bring it into work, and tell people.
Yeah.
Definitely closer with my friend Ernie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I knew the man before he had the transplant, and I remember thinking at his Christmas party that we wouldn't get to see him at the next Christmas party. They wouldn't make it. And so here we are. We did make it to the next Christmas party, and we're 13 months post-op. It's created a bond for me personally, because it's all about me. My bond with Sheila, I've gotten to know her better over the last year and a half, and that's a blessing because you're such a brave, strong human, and I appreciate your sacrifice. I really do. And I've said that 100 times to you. That without you being the person you are in your recovery, in your 12-step recovery, in your life, and being that altruistic human, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have known any better. I would have been scared. And you helped me walk through my fears. And I'm so grateful because not only did you change Ernie's life, you changed Carrie's life. And that's why when I got done doing this donation, this idea came that I need to share. I didn't know there was living organ donation, not living liver. I didn't know how safe it was. You know, I'm here to tell you that this is a safe process and that we can save lives together. So again, if you're out there thinking, maybe I will, you should.
Yeah.
You should. It's a safe process.
Oh yeah. Those donor people know me better than my own primary care doctor. And I'm very sure of that. So.
Absolutely. So if you were to talk to someone who was considering, kind of like when I was, what would you tell them?
Oh, what would I tell them? I think that you need to know if it's in your heart.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't in my heart, and if I hadn't, even had that voice or whatever, I don't think I would have done it, because it wasn't something I ever thought of doing. I felt safe.
Yeah.
I felt very safe.
We've got clean bills of health, by the way, because of this.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And here we are today, a year later after the whole journey. And I appreciate you taking the time today to sit with me, talk about it, have a few laughs. And I hope that our friendship continues to grow and blossom.
Of course.
Because I just love you, and I think you're a wonderful human. Thank you for coming and doing Vital Vessels. And for you guys out there, hit that like and subscribe button, and then you'll get notified when I do this again. And we're going to do lots more information. I'm going to interview everyone from A to Z.